And then Shattered's, how much for these ones, bro?
This is the only one we have, 1,300.
1,000. And what are those? They look like a 9 or a 10 maybe?
It is our size. I'm a size 9.5 as well.
Oh, yeah,
so it's your
yeah.
size too.
That's the money size, man. Come on, be interesting. Let's talk about this shoe. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Man Takes Shoes Out of Box, the episode where you get to sit there and watch me take some shoes out of a box and then tell you what I think of them. Today we are talking about these, the legendary Air Jordan 1 High OG Shattered Backboards. This sneaker is a cult classic, it's a hood classic, these are certified by the streets. We're going to talk a little bit about the backgrounds behind this sneaker and what gave it its cult classic status. And then I'm going to give you guys the important information. Are these as good as the 2015s? But let's start off by going through the backstory. So they're called the Shattered Backboards because, yeah, you got it. MJ shattered the bloody backboard whilst not wearing this shoe, to be fair. He was wearing the Air Jordan 1 High Chicago's. After his first full season with the Chicago Bulls, MJ participated in an exhibition game in Trieste, Italy, between Stefanel Trieste and Juve Caserta, and he was wearing the black and orange uniform of Trieste. In this game, Jordan put on a clinic as you'd expect, scoring 30 points, but the most memorable points he scored were the ones where he engaged in this thunderous slam dunk, shattering the backboard, the shattered glass cascading over his opponents, whilst he pretty much just sauntered around the side of the court. 30 years later, Jordan Brand would choose to honor this moment by giving us the Shattered Backboard 1.0s, which was basically a black toe inspired colorway of the Air Jordan 1 High with the orange of the Trieste uniform in place of the reds and the orange covering the toe box. The insole also featured the shattered backboard motif. And thanks to this compelling story, as well as a whole bunch of hype around the shoe, in 2015, this sneaker sold out pretty much instantaneously. There was a very limited run. As a result, after immediately selling out, resellers were able to command upwards of $500 for these pairs right after they released. Now, if you guys were tapped into the sneaker game back in 2015, you'll remember that Jordan 1s in 2015, right up until 2015, weren't really that hype. Most pairs would end up going on sale or hitting the outlets. You guys will also remember in 2015, the sneaker game was pretty much all focused on Adidas and Kanye and the Yeezy line. And so this was one of the few Air Jordan 1 Highs that sort of broke that mold of selling out instantaneously, commanding big resale prices, and it was largely thanks to that hype that this sneaker's legacy got cemented. The success of this colorway would also spawn an entire line of similar types of colorways. You guys remember the reverse shattered backboard that came out in 2016, which was more of a Chicago-esque type color blocking. That pair also went on to sell out instantaneously, and whilst it wasn't quite as hype as the OG shattered backboards, there was definitely some resale around for those. We've also had a women's shattered backboard in the satin material. In 2019, we had the, what I like to refer to as the bin bag shattered backboards, which was the bread inspired colorway of the shattered backboards with that shiny upper. Personally, I think they really fumbled that release. If they'd have just gone with a straight matte blocking, those would have been way nicer. And there have also been some other shattered backboard spin-offs, including some low tops. Now, another reason why the shattered backboard OG from 2015 is held in such high regard by sneakerheads is because of the quality of the materials on that particular pair. The leather was really soft, really buttery, really nicely textured. The 2015 shattered backboards have almost been held up as an exemplar of what Jordan 1 High quality should always be, but very rarely is. And so between the legendary story, the hype, the colorway, the materials, the 2015 Shattered Backboards have been, like, outside of the OG colorways, one of the best Air Jordan 1 Highs of all time, and the resale prices over the years definitely reflect that. In the height of Jordan 1 hype, right around the pandemic, post-pandemic, pairs of the Shattered Backboards were going up to and over $1,500. I might even have a video I can insert here where you can see what some of the prices on the Shattered Backboards were going for just post-pandemic. And then Shattered's, how much for these ones, bro?
This is the only one we have, 1,300.
1,000. And what are those? They look like a 9 or a 10 maybe?
It is our size. I'm a size 9.5 as well.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
your
yeah.
size too.
That's the money size, man. I remember when they were going for a lot less as well, eh, man?
Yeah.
Like, I slept on those.
This one as well. We sell them for 300 when they came out.
Yeah.
Now they jump up to like 400 or 500.
Yeah, yeah. I like what some people do with the where they sort of mat the mount. Yeah, with
the shiny part.
Yeah, it looks okay, man. So with the context suitably painted, let's talk about the 2025 pair. The first thing to say is that these are sitting around, at least here in the UK, you can find most stores carrying full-size runs of these, which is absolutely fantastic news. Unless, of course, you are a reseller. The fact that these haven't sold out in 2025 is really just a reflection of where the sneaker game is at in 2025. The packaging is pretty dope, to be fair. It's the Jordan 1 box, but it has the shattered glass motif sort of splayed all over it. The shoes themselves are super clean. I mean, honestly, this colorway is beautiful. Something about this Trieste orange, it just hits hard. As someone that's had the 2015 Shattered Backboards, I've got to say that yeah, at least in terms of the color, they've definitely nailed the color. Unfortunately, I don't have my 2015s to hand anymore. I sold them a couple of years ago for some good bread whilst the prices were still sort of reasonable. I had a feeling that these were going to end up getting a retro pretty soon, and so I got rid of my pair whilst the getting was still good. And so unfortunately, I can't bring you guys a direct comparison to sort of suss out whether or not the materials are on point. But yeah, let's just get straight into the materials. So you've got a couple of different types of leather. The mid-panel leather is a little bit more textured, a little bit more pebbled compared to the 2015 from my memory. The leather on the black portions is of a slightly lower quality. I want to say it's a little bit rougher to the touch. The orange leather portions on the toe box seem to, at least in my case, have come pre-creased. I mean, bro, I don't know if Jordan Brand are taking aging to another level here now by giving you pairs that don't look so much like they've patinaed with age, but they look like they've actually been worn with age. I mean, bro, this creasing is kind of crazy. The materials are really nice. I will say that. They are satisfactory, but are they as soft? Are they as supple? Are they as smooth as the 2015s? I would venture to say no. These aren't as nice materially compared to the 2015s, at least in my humble opinion. I'm not a leather artisan. I can only go off what I know personally. At least in terms of the suppleness, at least in terms of the thickness, these aren't quite as nice as the 2015s. The construction though is pretty nice. In terms of the shape, like they're not obviously the 85 shape like we've been having in recent times. They're more in line with some of the more, like regular retro Jordans. Comparing them to the 2015 UNCs, which is obviously the same year that the Shattered Backboards came out, you can kind of see that the shape on the 2025 Shattered Backboards is maybe a little bit more commensurate with the OGs, but obviously that's a detail for the more discerning eye to determine. So I guess the next thing to do is to chuck them on feet and see how they feel and feel how they look. So the fit is true to size as always with Air Jordan 1s. If you guys want a little bit of extra room in the toe box, obviously a half size up is a good bet. In terms of the comfort, the regular old flat-soled Air Jordan 1 comfort, it's nothing to write home about, but yeah, it's pretty decent. In terms of how they look, bro, I mean, like I said before, this is one of the best, if not the best, non-OG colorway of the Jordan 1 high of all time. In fact, I think a lot of people would probably put Shattered Backboards top 5 of all time, whether it's the Chicago, then maybe the Breads, then the UNCs. Maybe you could put these at 4 pretty legitimately. Black toes. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have any problem with anyone that has the Shattered Backboard Jordan 1 high as a top 5 Jordan 1 colorway of all time. I honestly think that is a valid take. This colorway is flippin' clean, and when you factor in the backstory, bro, it just makes these that much nicer. In terms of extras, you get like an extra set of orange laces, which is pretty cool. They would pop pretty hard if you wanted to install those. In terms of the resale, bro, there's no resale in these whatsoever. These are, at least here in the UK, I know some of you guys that live in small villages in the backcountry of the USA might have, completely run out of stock at your local Dick's or whatever. You can spare me the details there. At least here in the UK, bro, these are sat in full-size runs pretty much everywhere. So there's no resale to speak of for these at all. And there probably won't be. In fact, if these size runs continue to sit around, you might even be able to pick up Shattered Backboards at the end of season sales here in the UK, which is both fantastic and kind of crazy. In terms of collectability, bro, if you're an Air Jordan 1 head, you are loving this. You are rejoicing in the fact that the Shattered Backboards are back in 2025 after a 10-year hiatus, which I think is a valid amount of time for a retro to you know, have between releases, because it feels like we're getting retros of the same models way too quickly. You barely had time to sort of break the last pair in before they're out again, and then you're wondering whether or not to double up or triple up or whatever, and you know, shit just gets out of hand. So I feel like 10 years is a good amount of time between the releases. The ultimate question though, are these as good as the 2015s? Maybe there's a variety of opinions out there, but my own gut feeling is that these are nice. They are nice, no doubt about it. The materials on these feel good. They feel acceptable. The QC is decent. The shape is good. The packaging is good. They just don't quite have that same softness, that same suppleness, that same sort of zhuzh, that wow factor that the 2015s had. I really am just going off memory, but yeah. Did they do them justice? Yes. Did they surpass them? No, I don't think so. But given that the 2015s were going for so much money in the resale market in the recent past, being able to pick these up easy peasy for retail is fantastic. What are you guys thinking about them? Let me know down below. And as always, I appreciate you guys messing with the content. Like the video before you bounce, and do me a favor and go and subscribe to my second channel, which I am trying to build. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care for now, and peace.